one of the most terrifying creatures in the wild. Wolves are too dangerous to approach up close, don't they? Maybe after reading this tale of Romeo, a large black wolf, you may have a different opinion. Welcome back to yet another incredible tale. The fact that everyone is aware that wolves are deadly predators with the innate need to live by whatever means possible makes one of the most significant distinctions between a wild wolf and our cherished dog friends. For our own security as well as theirs, it is therefore safer to stay away from them whenever possible, despite the fact that we may believe they are amazing animals. However, the encounter with one of these elusive animals in 2004 outside the Juneau house of Alaskan wildlife photographer Nick Johns and his dog Dakota transformed their lives irrevocably. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. The day was cold in the winter. A large black wolf suddenly appeared from the neighboring woodland when Nick Johns and his dog were enjoying the tranquility on their back veranda. Dakota darted off the porch and straight into the untamed dog before Nick could stop him. Nick waited in expectation, praying the wolf wouldn't harm his companion, knowing he couldn't go and drag his beloved dog back out of concern for his safety. The dog approached the untamed creature, and Nick was only waiting for the right opportunity to attack the dog, because it appeared to be a simple meal. However, an incredible event transpired. The dog and the wolf began playing together rather than fighting. Nick was in shock at what he saw. The enormous predator was playing like a gigantic puppy running about. The wolf remained in the vicinity and played with Dakota and many other dogs in the neighborhood after their initial meeting. Nick began recording the weird creature's interactions with all of the neighborhood pets after becoming excited. At first, Nick's wife wasn't as excited about this newcomer to the neighborhood, but she did end up giving the wolf the moniker that would become synonymous with him. "My wife," Nick remarked, "was looking out the window one chilly morning, and there was the wolf curled up out on the lake ice, waiting for Dakota to come out." She did not exactly approve of this miscegenation, Nick added. She replied, "There's that Romeo wolf again," in that somewhat protective, arms-folded sound that any mother would use with a cute teenage daughter. Nick immediately realized that this wolf was unlike any other. The wild dog was quite beautiful, with coarse hair and shrewd eyes, yet in spite of his powerful build, he didn't appear hostile at all. Romeo seems to start having the same level of trust with the photographer as well. The wolf in Mendenhall Glacier Park quickly established himself as a regular part of the community and was well known for engaging in dog play. Romeo was not only dispelling all of the stereotypes that Nick and other people had ever encountered about wolves, but he was also demonstrating that his affection for other canines was a continuous emotion. People were first afraid of the enormous black wolf, and who wouldn't be? However, it quickly became apparent that his intentions were pure and that all he wanted to do was play with the other dogs, something the cherished creatures were more than happy to oblige him with. Over time, some Juneau residents became used to the unusual animal and began to perceive the wolf from a different perspective. Romeo quickly started to trust the locals too, as if he sensed they didn't want to harm him. In an interview, Nick stated, "The wolf would bring out toys that he'd stashed. One of them was a foam float. Romeo would grab it and carry it over to my friend Harry so he could toss it. It seemed as though he considered himself to be a dog." Nick started to wonder whether he might possibly form a relationship with the wolf that would be comparable to his relationship with his dog after noticing this unexpected side to the usually savage animal. The photographer would relate the story of the incredible wolf to anybody who would listen. Given that dogs enjoyed playing with toys more than people, he was aware of how essential toys were to many of them. Fortunately, Romeo demonstrated that, like any other dog, he enjoyed playing when Nick handed him toys to see how he would respond. Nick thought that the time the untamed animal was spending with the tamed dogs was having a beneficial effect on him. "He clearly understood the same sort of behaviors that we see in dogs," stated Nick. And it's possible that Romeo used his understanding to pick up on how he could fit in with the local dogs and humans in order to survive in unfamiliar territory. Romeo, having grown up in a pack, had probably absorbed some social skills from that experience. Since collaborating is the most effective and secure strategy for surviving in the wild, wolves frequently do so. Romeo very likely realized that he needed to make friends with the dogs at the park in order to live. Romeo was becoming more at ease with others, although he still maintained a respectful distance most of the time. Nick was one of the few people he would approach closely, but even though the photographer had several opportunities to pet the wolf, he was aware that it was still a wild animal and that he shouldn't attempt to handle it like a typical dog. Romeo stayed in the Juneau region for 6 years, having pleasure and playing with the dogs. "We were these 3 species working out how to get along harmoniously, and we did," Nick said. The photographer never would have thought that a fortuitous meeting with such a magnificent and inspirational animal could result in a relationship that would endure for so long. Romeo came to represent the community's connection to the outdoors at that period. The remarkable coexistence of the wolf, dogs, and humans in the little town made it evident to anyone outside the region how special it was. "I'm going to the lake to see the wolf," people would frequently say, as though they were going to see a well-known acquaintance. Sadly, not everyone in the neighborhood had the same sentiments. Because wolves are typically perceived as dangerous, several people were afraid of Romeo and thought he might turn violent. However, the wolf came to be loved by most people as a part of their society. His relationship with the dogs and the people was extraordinarily unique. The huge black dog terrified strangers, but people who knew him well saw past his intimidating appearance and saw that he was just a playful, lovable dog. Then catastrophe came one day. There is always someone who would like to get rid of the strange thing completely. Even for some who are content to live in harmony with others, they may not entirely understand, but are prepared to try. Romeo, regrettably, experienced this in 2010. He spent many years dodging intentional efforts to take his life, such as those involving scented traps, busy roadways, illegal hunting, and even a poisoning attempt. Sadly, he was shot and murdered by 2 locals of the area he enjoyed visiting, Park Myers III and his buddy Jeff Peacock from Pennsylvania. Following their arrest, the 2 men received penalties, many years of probation, and a temporary suspension of their hunting and fishing licenses. All of this, though, would not bring back the wolf who had cheerfully professed his love to the people of Juneau. The Juneau people were inconsolable. They would no longer be able to see Romeo play with them at the nature reserve with their dogs and kids. Romeo's longevity was far greater than that of a wolf, which was the sole consolation from this ordeal. Wolves typically live to be 3 years old, but many people thought Romeo was nearly 3 times that old when he passed away. The residents of Juneau made the decision to honor the wolf with a memorial after learning of his passing. Romeo's photo was even included into a commemorative memorial that the community created to show visitors how much the incredible animal meant to them. Although it was obvious that the plaque would never be able to fully replace the genuine animal, it gave people comfort in knowing that he will always be remembered. The inscription, which is still in Juneau, says, "Romeo, 2003 to 2009. This rugged region is home to the friendly black wolf spirit of Juneau." Nick also went on to publish A Wolf Called Romeo, a book to share the tale of this incredible animal with the world. Even though his demise was heartbreaking, the wolf lived life to the fullest, inspired and touched countless people, and altered the perception of wolves as anything other than terrible creatures out to get you. How wonderful of a legacy that is. Even while not all stories have happy endings, they all convey a valuable lesson. Romeo demonstrated that one should never judge a book by its cover. Wherever he is, hopefully, he's having fun playing with as many dogs as he wants. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.